Hello and welcome everyone, it's Vinrock39 again. Today I'll be sharing a shotgun slash saw build that I use pretty much all the time when I'm running a Hotline Miami or any of the transport missions. It's pretty overpowered in my opinion. I don't play in death sentence. I mess around in there, I do try, but solo it's not good for me, so I stay in Death Wish and below. But this build will work for you. I believe it will. But I am a grinder player. I do love using grinder. There are a few options that players will have. I'll try to share those with you as I'm explaining the build. First off, I'll go with the shotgun that I use. It's the Eastma 12 gauge shotgun. It's been modded with a lot of DLC in order to get a concealment number of 24, which according to what I read, the certain skill I'm going to use, low blow aced, if I'm at 25 I should get the maximum number of benefit from using that skill. If I at 26 I should be like 27% possibility of getting critical hits, which is very high still, which is why I'm using it this way. I'm choosing the triple-aught buckshot as the ammo. The barrel is a bit of DLC from the Gauge Spec Ops pack item. It's a short barrel. It adds 4 concealment. It does take away accuracy and stability, but the concealment is key in this build. I do choose to use a suppressor. You do have options. You can change to the horizontal leveler or any of these. The only one that's going to cost you more in concealment would be the yeah, I thought you were going to wait for something else too. I hate saying that one, but the is the one that costs you the most as far as concealment, so I won't use it for this build. I do add a concealment boost. I took nothing for custom, nothing in extra. Here's another piece of DLC from the Gauge Spec Ops pack item, which increases concealment by 4, the hollow handle. I chose to use the compact laser module. No increase or decrease in any of the statistics, but I do like the fact that it gives me a point of reference when I'm aiming. The AK rubber grip for the increase in concealment mainly, but it also gives you a bit more stability. I don't choose the Big Brother mag, mainly because with close by ace you're getting an extra 15 rounds in the mag, so you don't necessarily need a bigger magazine. Besides, it'll mess with your concealment. Nothing for the sight. Iron sights is fine with the shotgun, and I use the skeletal stock once again for the increase in concealment at the loss of force stability, but that's not really as important. So that's basically the shotgun and how I modded it. Secondary is obviously the OVE 9000 saw. I chose to use the loud version of it, which I'm using a concealment boost, the fast motor, and the durable blade. So increase in ammo. The fast motor just allows you to open things a lot faster, quicker, less times on the trigger, so that's why I use it. And that's the saw. Now the melee weapon, I chose the buzzer, but there is a free version, the electrical brass knuckles. Does the same thing, except according to the stats it shows that the charge time on this one is a second and a half quicker than with the buzzer, but I just like using the buzzer. It's just a preference, and both of them have the same high concealment, which is what I'm after. Remember, concealment is king in my builds. I chose Molotov cocktail mainly because that's how I roll. I love them. Well, we'll get to the equipment later, I guess. I'm using the lightweight ballistic vest, but that's all the grinder can use as far as armor is concerned. If not, I wouldn't have the health regen from the perk deck. And obviously grinder. Now the skills, that's kind of important. So here in Mastermind, I take basic force friendship, basic joker, and I ace partners in crime. The acing partners in crime is critical in my opinion to the grinder. He's going to get a 10% movement speed increase as well as a 30% increase in health. Not to mention this gives your converted enemy a lot more durability. 99% less damage is what he's going to take. So he's just a lot tougher. He's twice as tough if you want to look at it from that perspective. So he'll be around a good long time. Now here in the Enforcer branch, this is where a lot of this build gets its strength from. In Shotgunner, I'm taking Underdog Basic, Shotgun CQB. I'm acing that one for the quicker reloads. Shotgun Impact, you could ace this skill, but it's not totally necessary, especially when you're using it with Overkill Basic. Close by, aced. Hip firing your shotguns while sprinting, I don't do that really. I'm after the ace part of this skill, where the rate of fire is increased when you're firing from the hip with single shot shotguns, which I'm not even doing that. But the other one is the main one, the 15 shell increase in the magazines. That's what I'm after with that. That's all it is. And then Overkill Basic, if you're not aware, when you get a kill with a shotgun using this skill, it triggers a 75% increase in damage for 20 seconds. So you're really going to be thumping them pretty good with the shotgun once you get that first kill in. Here I take in tank ace resilience. Flashbangs are a pain. Armor recovery rate is good, but the flashbangs is a pain. I can say that again if you'd like. Die Hard, I ace this skill mainly because of the 20% or the 20 point value they're going to add to your ballistic vest, which is really good for someone who can't use heavy armor. I take Transporter Basic. This is a skill you don't necessarily need to have, but with the saw missions I found that you're always throwing bags and what have you, so it's important. I need it in this build. Bullseye Basic, Shotgun All Basic, as well as Iron Man Basic, all to give me a little more increase in my armor. This is for recovery, and this is in case things get tight. I get a headshot with this skill and you'll get 5 armor back. It can only happen every 2 seconds, but it's better than not having it. Now it's a saw build, so I take Basic Scavenger and I ace the portable saw. Extra efficient, extra blade. I don't need to see anything else. Oh, and you can use it as a secondary, which kind of need to do since the Yzma is a primary. Now on to Technician. In Engineer, I'll take Third Law Basic, Sentry Targeting Package Basic, just to get Jack of all trades aced. I don't care what skills you use, just get up here as cheaply as possible. Jack of all trades is very important for this build as far as I'm concerned. You can probably live without it, but I can't. Now here in Breacher, I'll take Hardware Expert Basic, Drill Sergeant Basic, as well as Basic More Firepower. Sometimes drill skills come in handy, and I got the points to spare, so may as well use them here. I did take 1 point in Oppressor and put it on Steady Grip for a little extra accuracy with the weapon. And here in Ghost, I usually take Chameleon Basic and Ace Sixth Sense, mainly for the ability to secure an expert driver. If you're doing these transport missions, you'll see that option. And for us experienced players, we really don't care to get an escape day after a completed mission, so this will just prevent that from happening. If you're not one of those and you want to grind them extra possibilities out, just don't buy the option, or take these 7 points and use them somewhere else. I'll show you what I would do if I was in a different frame of mind, but this is how I use the build, so I'll put it back for now. And here in Artful Dodger, I take Duck and Cover Basic and I ace Inner Pockets. The concealment for the melee weapons is good, as well as getting that concealment of 4 to my ballistic vest. That's really helping because I use that lightweight ballistic vest, and it's going to help me keep that concealment number very high, so my detection risk is as low as I can get it, in spite of the fact that I'm using a saw as a secondary. In Silent Killer, I take Basic Second Wind, Basic Optical Illusions, I do take the professional basic because I choose to use silencers, so I'll get a quicker snap to zoom speed with it, as well as extra 8 weapon stability, and that seems to be fine. That's all I really need. I don't need the extra 12 weapon accuracy. This is just a shotgun build. And then I'll take low blow and ace this skill. I ace it because my detection risk is at or around 25, 26 to be exact, and taking this wouldn't even help. It's not even a point in using it, so you have to dedicate the points if you want to get low blow and the benefits of those critical hits. You gotta ace it if your detection risk is at 25. Here, high value target, that's just giving me more damage tagging onto them if I mark them. If they're inside of 10 meters, it's 15% more damage. If they're further away than 10 meters, they'll be taking 65% more damage as long as I mark them. And as well as acing this skill, you can mark them for a lot longer, and even just by aiming at them will mark them. You don't have to tag them, so it's kind of useful. And in fugitive, I take the one last point and I put it on martial arts basic, because using the saw, you're going to be up close, and sometimes they pop you or melee you while you're close, and it really hurts. So if you take half that damage, you might be able to not only take them out but stay alive long enough to get your health back up. When you're using grinder, it won't be too hard, so that's why I have that skill. Now that's the basic build. Now for you players who don't use grinder or don't have grinder, I have a couple ideas that might help you. You won't be as versatile, like I like to say. You won't be able to use these drill and saw skills, but I'm going to show you how you can get quite a few points back and maybe help the players that don't use grinder. And yeah, I'll say 14 points. That's plenty of points to get you maybe something you're used to, some first aid kits. If you wanted them aced, you have enough to do that. If not, you can keep them basic. If that's not your thing, a bit of health regen can come from your jokers and hostage taker. That's an option you have. Basic isn't very much, but it's better than nothing. You could take some points away from something else, let's say here, and avoid using silencers, or you can still use silencers. You don't necessarily need that skill to use a silencer, but now you have the 8 points to ace hostage taker. So if you're not using a health regenerative perk deck like grinder, you can still regen your health and help keep yourself alive. If you're not into that, I think I already showed you, you can get your first aid kits up. You want doctor bags, that's fine. I mean, you have a few choices as far as your health is concerned. You can boost your defense by having force friendship aced. You take 2 jokers. Since you have only 1 gun, a couple extra jokers, that's like having 2 extra weapons on the map, so that's another option. You can do a few things to help make this build work for you. I chose to have some saw or drill skills and some trip mines, and it works fine for me. If you want, you can give yourself a little more dodge when you're running around. That's useful. If you want to be quicker on your feet, you don't necessarily have to not use parkour. You do have the skills to, or the points to use. If you want, this is another option, getting a melee with bloodthirst, because then I would definitely get away from that and maybe use the ice pick or something that's going to have a 32 concealment and still hit hard like the ice pick. 70 or better. Well, 70 is about as good as it gets for the basic melee, so if you can find one that's as good as the ice pick, which I don't think you will, you're still adding exponential damage to your melee if you take the bloodthirst skill, because it's multiplying. Everything you kill is increasing your melee attack damage by 100%. So in essence, if you get 16 kills and you haven't used your melee and you whack somebody with it, just whatever your melee is times 1600%, and that's the kind of damage you're going to be throwing out there. So it's kind of useful skill if that's what you want to do. But like I said, I have my own little preference, and I think in all actuality this is the way I like doing it, and this is the way I'm going to keep it. But you want stronger shotguns? I mean, I can go on and on. I mean, more shotgun, there you go. Better shotguns. If you wanted all the damage you can put out, you want to be able to bring 2 ammo bags because you're using a saw, fine, do that. If not, that's fine. You don't need those points there. If you want, you can give yourself the ability to drop more ammo by acing scavenger. When you shoot 6 people, they're going to drop an extra ammo bag, so that helps for teams that might have some high damage weapons that really don't do well in ammo pickup. You're actually going to help your teammates by acing this skill and doing a lot of killing, and maybe leaving ammo on the ground for them. So you do have some choices. I'm just throwing them out there. So with that being said, that's the build. I hope it's useful to you guys and ladies, and as always, take care, be well, and good games, everyone.